Are we beating a dead horse? I don't know about that. Maybe we are, who knows? But we do have ourselves some updates from Elliotte Friedman in regards to the drama surrounding former Ottawa Senators captain Brady Tkachuk and just how bad things got during his last few days on the team. Okay, maybe not days. His last few moments, weeks, maybe even months on the Ottawa Senators. But before we dive into that, we actually do have some more Sens news, legit news to talk about, and that's the fact that Claude Giroux is indeed signing with the Sens again. At the time of me recording this audio, we don't actually know the contract details, but courtesy of Elliotte Friedman from yesterday, we do know that Claude Giroux is returning to Ottawa. He was rumored to be on the brink of signing in Philadelphia with a few other teams that had kicked tires. With the Leo Carlson situation hanging over them, Philly reportedly told Giroux to wait. It appears he had changed his mind in the meantime. Wow, Ottawa just went from last in the Atlantic to last in the Atlantic. Okay, sorry, that's kind of mean. Claude Giroux coming back is a great deal for the Ottawa Senators, and I'd say that there isn't a Sens fan that's not a fan of this move. I mean, he's coming back. He's 38 years old. He scored himself 49 points in 82 games last year. He's had a pretty good Ottawa Senators career. 79 points in his opening season with the Sens in 22-23. Obviously, it doesn't take a genius to understand the impact that Claude Giroux has had on this organization and in the National Hockey League as a whole. 38 years old from Hearst, Ontario, so obviously this is a guy playing for his hometown team now. We spoke about this in the Claude Giroux sweepstakes video a few days ago, but this is a player that still has a lot to give in the National Hockey League, and I do think that for anybody going out there and targeting Claude Giroux, there's a good reason to go out there and bring this guy onto your squad. He can provide solid middle six offense that's 50-something points a year. You can probably get him for cheaper and just give him a whole bunch of old man bonuses because he's in that appropriate age range. And for the Ottawa Senators, obviously, this is a pretty good deal. Pretty good deal. I'm not thinking it's going to be a long-term big money thing. It's probably going to be reasonable. Maybe not Jamie Benn $800,000 reasonable, but like, you know, just a little bit more up there than that. But with that said, from one awesome player in Ottawa to one forgettable one, let's talk about Brady Tkachuk and what Elliotte Friedman spoke about in regards to Tkachuk and the fallout. Friedman said this on the 32 Thoughts podcast regarding the Brady Tkachuk trade. Post-Olympics, there was a lot going on, and the players were tired of it. Friedman said, I did have someone reach out to me, one of the players going out there and saying that the Wingmen podcast caused some problems. Now, Friedman saying that Brady Tkachuk's podcast with his brother Matthew became a point of frustration. I wonder why. NHL Muse went out there and posted the video clip of Keith Tkachuk going out there and talking smack about players that can't play back-to-backs and that request off days because they're feeling a little bit different. And you can see Brady and Matthew kind of laughing at it. Matthew's trying to dismiss it. Brady is not really acknowledging it, but they're laughing. They're laughing. People are getting hurt and you're laughing. And this, of course, was the most problematic of the clips that had come out from the Wingmen podcast. Side note, it's like, I personally don't have the time to go out there and listen to full-on episodes of the Tkachuks talking about what's going on in the National Hockey League. Mention the fact that this studio that they're in is decked out in all Florida Panthers stuff. There's nothing Ottawa in here at all. But I don't know, like, this is just me personally saying what I'm thinking. No shade, no disrespect towards anybody. But like, I personally feel like my brain cells dip by the minute every time I listen to a clip from that podcast. Like, I can't just say the rudest thing on the planet and preface it by saying, oh, no disrespect, right? But does anybody else feel the same way? I don't know. Maybe it's just not for me. I can see why those two sons are asshats. The apples don't fall far from the tree, now do they? Another reply went out there and said, his dumb father mocks our number one goalie who is going through mental health issues, and our captain just sits there saying nothing like the brain-dead son he is. It's shocking that this podcast led to issues in the locker room. As a diehard Sens fan, I have moved on. No matter people's view, the fact is our captain visibly quit on this team on the ice. Whatever happened behind the scenes or off the ice is history. He quit. That is his legacy as a player and a person. Glad to see the back of him. I'm not surprised. They wanted to be the new heights for hockey, but they lacked the charm, humor, intelligence, likability, and awareness of when to shut up and keep things private that the Kelsey brothers have. It's funny because this wasn't an issue in Florida. Seems like Ottawa might just have a loser culture. Okay, that's kind of missing the point there, Dylan. Another tweet goes out there and says the same thing. Interesting stuff from Friedman talking about Tkachuk. A player texted him that the podcast created some problems in the locker room. Wow, what a revelation. Two meatheads talking crap trying to copy the Kelsey brothers with none of the charisma, and it didn't sit right in the locker room? What a shock. I'd imagine most players weren't thrilled with the idea of having their captain be the host of a podcast that always seemed to make subtle digs at their hockey team. And then you also had this made by Primetime Sens. They called out Austin Matthews on the podcast for not standing up for his teammates, and Ottawa's next game, Tkachuk got hit in the head and Brady did nothing about it. Talk about calling guys out. Talk about holding people accountable. Talk about your American captain not actually standing up for your players. That's great. Oh, it's like he had a fracture in his hand. Yeah, that's fair, but then again, when have you ever saw a fracture stop Brady Tkachuk from going after somebody and making their lives a living hell? In a way, honestly, just like listening to this podcast for a little bit, seeing the way that the Tkachuks talk to one another and seeing how Brady always seemed to have gotten the brunt end of the jokes thrown at him, there's something about this dynamic that makes me feel like Brady Tkachuk, maybe there is a part of him that wanted to stand up a little bit more for the Ottawa Senators. Maybe there was a part of him that was genuinely proud to represent that team. But in an environment where your dad and your older brother are like tossing rocks and they're making these comments and they're laughing, I just feel like Brady Tkachuk, there's potentially that little brother syndrome going on where he can't really stand up and talk back. He can't really try to defend the honor of his team. He's just got to sit back and take it. And that's kind of where I'm getting at when it comes to the way Brady interacted with his brother and his dad on this specific episode. I know they have more episodes than just this one with the dad, but like, I don't know. It's not really for me. I'm not really going to put in the effort to listen to it. I've got other things to listen to while I go on my nightly easy runs, in particular Canucks Talk Radio. But with all that said, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Elliotte Friedman revealing that the podcast actually did cause some issues within the Ottawa Senators locker room. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about Claude Giroux coming back over to the Sens? How excited are you to see this next chapter in Sens hockey? William Eklund's an Ottawa Senator now, so we'll see how he gets along with some of the other guys. Timmy Stu and Eklund playing together. Seems like a pretty good match in my head. Let me know in the comment section all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.